Order. Summer vacation. Mr. Jones.
Father God, bless us today to make the right decisions and let us do it with peace and a lot less drama. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. And our pledge tonight?
Tonight, we have Bella Renfro, and she will be leading us in the pledge.
Great.
Please join me for the pledge. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
She's the purser's daughter, right? And are you going to give her her pen now? Or
Yes.
her pen now?
Yes.
Great.
So Bella, we have the Cass County pin.
Can I take a picture?
Oh, yes, please do. Perfect.
Roseanne, I would like to give her, when we have guest people come in to do the pledge, we have a flag that's been flown out there for the county building and for the county. I'd like to give that to her and any other guest pledge of allegiance that we have from now on. Yeah, so her mom's gonna remind me, and we will give her that flag out there.
Super. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot. Roll call.
Commissioner Leyland.
Present.
Commissioner File.
Here.
Commissioner Marquetti.
Here.
Chair Dice.
Here.
Commissioner Benjamin. Commissioner Price.
Here.
And Commissioner Jones.
Here.
We do have a quorum. We have a public hearing?
Yes, I'll give a quick overview of the program first. So years ago, and I think it goes back over a decade at least, maybe even longer, but the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, through Community Development Block Grant Funding, had a home emergency repair loan program. So essentially, counties or other entities that utilize the program could effectuate home repairs for residents that kind of met requirements with respect to being low to moderate income. And kind of the way that they did it is it turned into a sort of revolving fund essentially. So it's no interest loans. They go on as a lien to the property that does not get paid back until there's a conveyance of ownership. We can also do grants depending on the amount. I think it's up to $1,500. If it's a smaller repair, you could actually do a grant in that case as well, and so there's no requirement of it ever being paid back. The program ended, I think, about 4 or 5 years ago, maybe more, but the general premise that the MEDC operates under is that for any given year, and that runs from July 1st through June 30th, the county records any program income that happens. So essentially when those conveyances of property came up, and those liens were paid, how much income the county saw from that. If it's under $35,000, the county can actually keep those funds and transfer it to the general fund if they so chose. Or of course you can continue the program as well. If the program income is more than $35,000, you have to continue the program if you're going to use the funds at the county level, or the other option is to just give that money back to the state. So the decision we talked about last year at this time as well was, didn't really make sense to just give the money back to the state. If the program could continue, the best course was to try to effectuate those repairs, help people in need, and it applies to a wide range of things. So it could be roofing, it could be siding, it could be furnaces, it could be, sewer lines or water lines, so a number of different things. So what I wanted to report on, I guess, was last year's accomplishments and the proceeds that were used, and then what we received in income and we're talking about for this coming year. So for last year, there was program income of $57,152. We were able to complete 8 repairs with those funds in the amount of, let me see here, I think it was a little over $52,000. Essentially, there was a total remainder of $4,065.66. So unfortunately, that amount, we were trying to find it, but we couldn't find a project that would use kind of that exact amount of money. There was a few projects that were a little more, and we couldn't make that work. So that amount was returned back to the state. And then for this year, In program income, we received $91,607.50, so it's almost double what we had from last year. So we had an MOU last year with the city of Dowagiac. They essentially serve as kind of the administrator for the program. So applications go into the city of Dowagiac from all over the county. They review the requirements, go through the applications with the applicants and make sure they meet any income guidelines, things like that, and then submit those to the county for final approval. And then we go forward. So we would propose for this year that $91,607.50 be utilized to continue the emergency repair loan, home repair loan program, and along those same lines, the MOU that was entered last year provided for it to automatically renew if the program continued. So that's kind of, I guess, the whole thing in a nutshell there. Any questions for me?
This way.
Of the 8 repairs, do you have a general idea of where those repairs took place in the county?
Yes, it was, there is a sheet in the packet. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe.
Four
It was
were in
4
Cassopolis
Dowagiac
and
and
4
4
were
in
in
Cassopolis.
Dowagiac.
And for this year, we actually have a couple things we're gonna do a little bit differently. We did have an application that was on the website last year, so we did kind of highlight that, but this year, we're planning to try to really get the word out a little bit better, so trying to put it out on social media, look at press releases, maybe even try to do something with a fillable form on the website that could then get transmitted to the city of Dowagiac as well. With the funding that we have available, we really want that to reach a wide-ranging, the widest audience possible, because it's not a program that's specific to any one municipality. It's as long as you're a county resident,
Exactly.
you're able to apply.
Exactly.
Any other questions to the administrator?
Yes, sir, you said there were 6 projects, but they were just in the village of Cass and the city of Dowagiac, or were
We
they
did
in the county?
8 projects.
2 were in Silver Creek and 2 were in Jefferson, just from what I looked at.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 in Silver Creek, 2 in Jefferson,
There was 1 in the city of Dowagiac.
and I think, yeah, with Cassopolis, I see these are mostly 5-digit addresses, so I think it'd be outside the village limits.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Can we ask questions?
Comments at least. I
We
mean,
didn't-
You can do it in
we
public
didn't move
comment.
to a public hearing.
You can't hear in a second, you can do it in public
Oh,
comment.
okay.
So you don't need a motion for that or anything?
For me, no.
Okay, fine.
But we will have a motion later.
You'll have a motion later on. Okay, so we'll do we've done roll call, introduction, a visit.
Are we gonna do a public hearing?
This
We're
is,
gonna open
you're in
public
public
hearing. Oh, it's
hearing, we
open.
shouldn't have had questions, it should be the public making comments.
That's right, it is public hearing, excuse me,
Do you
Jerry.
want to move into a public hearing?
That's what I saw.
No, just,
By
We made the motion.
saying we're in public
floor is
hearing.
open for
Yeah.
public hearing.
So for comments.
So, now you can talk, Jerry, go
Well,
ahead.
thank you. The question I have, Matt, is how do the townships make the residents aware of this? Can we get a copy of the website that you're putting in, and we can put it on our website for the township?
Yeah, I think there's a couple ways we can do it. We could actually kind of give you a packet that would have kind of all of the application materials in it, and so an overview of the program. And I think once we can probably share a link for you guys, if you could link to your website, that would link to where we have it as well. I think the more exposure we can get to it,
Absolutely.
the better off we are. And I don't want to give any of that money back, so.
No, that's right.
Floor is open, anything from the floor? Anything else from the floor? Yes,
My name is Matt Harrington. I'm here on behalf of the people that live on or around Donna Lake, and I
No,
have a few prepared comments.
okay, now you want to do yours in public.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You want to do yours in public here?
Public, yeah.
Yeah,
Public
okay, this is a
This is
public hearing for,
hearing.
yeah.
My fault.
No
Sorry.
problem, no problem.
I'll wait.
Usually don't have anybody talk, now we got everybody talking, that's good. Okay, is there anything else as far as the Michigan Development Block Grant Program? Public hearing. Now we'll close the hearing. Okay, now we'll go to, introduction of visitors. That's gone last month, so I figured out how to do this. Jerry, now you can talk again. Introduce yourself for,
Good afternoon, I'm Jerry Marquetti, I'm the Otwood Township Supervisor.
I'm Daisha Kirkland, Human Resource Assistant. Jennifer Rentcrow, Finance Director. Erica Esplin, GIS Director.
Matt Harrington, resident of Penn Township.
Sheila Wittes, resident of Penn Township.
Amber Jameldon, Web Content Manager for the county.
Hope Anderson, County Treasurer.
Steve Mammal, candidate for board.
Troy Slot, candidate for County Commissioner. Mary Clark, Commissioner candidate.
Richard Bakey, Sheriff.
Ron Butts, Animal Control Director.
R.J. Lee, County Commissioner candidate, District 8.
Okay. Thank you for attending. Now it's time for public comment. Floor is up for public comment.
I'll go first then.
State your name and your township.
Good evening, Matt Harrington, Penn Township. A few prepared remarks. As I mentioned, I'm here on behalf of people that live on or around Donnell Lake. Not long ago, pig farms were moved away from the nearby residential area of Donnell Lake for the health and safety of those living there. Controversial at the time, hindsight has proven that the community leaders act in the best interests of the citizens. Today, we are faced with another turning point for Cass County, Penn Township. It can best be summarized by this question. Will we choose to allow marijuana farms and the financial greed of some to the detriment of the health, safety, and welfare of many? On March 24, 2021, the Cass County Planning Commission was presented with information to amend the Penn Township ordinance allowing marijuana farms. This information that was shared was not completely accurate. For example, the Cass County Planning Commission was told that the Penn Township Planning Commission met and held a public hearing on the proposed changes to the zoning ordinance. I submit that a legal public hearing was not held due to the failure to publish a proper and effective public notice in the Dowagiac Daily News. The classified ads did not have the caption of Penn Township. That is why no citizens attended and no written comments were received. You were told that they have not received any negative input. Well, of course they didn't, because they were not properly informed about the public hearing. Once the citizens of Penn Township heard and what happened, 45 citizens attended the next Penn Township board meeting to voice their opposition. Currently, there are at least 4 known violations by the outdoor growers in Penn Township, including 1, a violation of the Cannabis Regulatory Authority in Michigan of Rule 25, which prohibits plants that are visible from a public place, and 3 violations of Penn Township's own recreational marijuana ordinance, including 1, to protect the health and safety through reasonable limitations as they relate to noise, air and water quality, neighborhood and consumer safety. 2, protect residential neighborhoods by limiting the location and the concentration of types of marijuana establishments. 1 marijuana farm on Donnell Lake is less than 100 feet from a zoned residential area and another nearby. 3, require the prevention of odors and other emissions or discharge from interfering with the reasonable and comfortable use and enjoyment of one's property. The odor emitting from marijuana farms is an undisputable public nuisance. It impacts the health of people with asthma. It interferes with the enjoyment of one's property, and realtors are suggesting it will negatively impact property values and home sales. The county is planning a trail from Cassopolis to Vandalia, where we will be encouraging people to enjoy the outdoors. Yes, they will pass by black barrier fences and inhaling noxious marijuana odor. That's ironic, isn't it? There are currently 11 marijuana grow sites and with licenses to grow over 100,000 plants in Penn Township. Cass County will soon be known as the marijuana capital of Michigan. So here we are 25 years after the pig farms. Will our community leaders again have the courage to uphold their oath of office and protect the very citizens that elected them? Based on these findings, I ask that you add this as an agenda item in a future meeting with the purpose to rescind Cass County's approval of amendments to the Penn Township zoning ordinance until an effective public hearing takes place.
Time.
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead,
Can I
ma'am.
speak, please? Yes. My name is Sheila Wittes, and I'm also from Penn Township. And I want to thank you all for letting me address all of you. And Matt, thank you for your thoughtful comments. I come here as a citizen who has owned property in Cass County since 1998. My family moved here permanently in 2014. We love this community, and we believe in it. Watching the revitalization of our village and seeing the plans for the future have renewed my sense of hope in this area that we have chosen to call home. Sadly, I fear that my optimism has been dimmed by the rush to make money from marijuana farms. As Matt alluded to, this decision was veiled in secrecy and passed under the shroud of the pandemic with no public input. Cass County officials were not presented with the full truth regarding the reason for no negative comments as presented by Penn Township Attorney Seneca. This October, after most seasonal residents had already closed up and gone home, dozens of lake residents attended the trustee meeting to voice their concerns about this nuisance smell. Imagine how many would have been there had it been a summer meeting. As an aside, at this October meeting, when we asked our trustees what could be done about this nuisance smell, we were told, and I quote, "You are smart people, figure it out." It feels as though our trustees, the majority of whom also benefit financially from the pot ordinance in Penn Township, are not hearing our voices and are not addressing their fiduciary responsibilities to our township or to our county. The smell we are living with is not simply a matter of personal preference. It is a public nuisance and has been so for well over 3 months of the year for those of us on the north side of the lake, and even longer for those who live with it in their backyards on the south side. We are forced to close our windows at night, run our air conditioning. Some smell it in their closets and on their family members. I smell it when I bring my dog in at night. Others have to live with the tarps and the security cameras directly in their backyards. This is not what we signed up for when we moved here. This has been a failed experiment, and yet it is one that is likely to continue expanding throughout our community, given the fact that our trustees passed an ordinance which allows for unlimited outdoor grows with no setbacks. We moved here to experience pure Michigan. The lakes, the fishing, the colorful, cool fall nights. Instead, we have been given pure skunk and black tarps along our highways and back roads. This decision was strictly based on money. In my opinion, it was a cynical decision which failed to take into account our community's potential and focused instead on certain people taking whatever they can get from our community to the detriment of the majority. You all understand what the potential of this beautiful area is. It is evident in your parks, your downtown, and your plans for the future. These pot fields are in direct opposition to your plans to revitalize our area. Thank you for your time tonight and to whatever assistance you can provide us to ensure that the voices of the Penn Township residents are heard and our community vitalization can continue moving forward for all to enjoy.
Thank you. Is there any other public comment? Okay. Approval of the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda with the removal of resolution 211-22 and motion 212-22.
Second.
I've moved, supported, approval of the agenda.
Yes.
Remove of the 2 items. Any discussion?
What are we gonna do with that resolution in motion? Get more, it's dead, or are we gonna get more information, or what's gonna happen now?
You want?
Oh, I can answer one of the questions. Our 211-22, we have been advised by our attorney that we do not need this because it's up and running, everything is okay, that we do not need this motion. So that's the reason why, or this resolution, that's the reason why we are removing it.
And then 212-22 hasn't been vetted through the finance director and or the county attorney yet.
Okay.
Is there any other discussion? Not, we'll vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. No recognitions, no presentations. Proposed consent agenda. Vice Chair, please.
Proposed consent agenda, motion 208-22, a motion to approve claims dated October 27, 2022, and motion 209-22, motion approved October 20th, 22, Board of Commissioners regular meeting minutes. I move the above listed item be voted on at one time by roll call vote, be considered as the consent agenda by the Board of Commissioners.
Second.
Properly moved and supported. Is there any discussion on the consent agenda? Not, Madam Clerk, please.
Commissioner Leyland,
Yes.
Commissioner File,
Yes.
Commissioner Marquetti,
Yes.
Chair Dice.
Yes.
Commissioner Benjamin,
Yes.
Commissioner Grice.
Yes.
And Commissioner Jones.
Yeah.
Motion passes. Committee reports, Commissioner Leyland.
Mine was a bit long-winded, so I typed it out for everybody. If anybody's got any questions, feel free.
Thanks, Ryan.
I didn't want Roseanne.
Well, come on, let's get back on track here. Okay, so everybody, yes, go
I
ahead.
have a question. You said that on November 2nd, Capital Projects Committee, you invited Dave and Ryan to come to and discuss the facilities assessment, and they gave your opinion of the next 5 most needed repairs and maintenance items. I want to thank you for that, and Dave usually comes, I would thank him too, because for years I've said, can't we get on top of some of this? And you're doing just that, so.
Yeah, the biggest was the mechanical system at animal control. And then I think the next one was carpet issues at the law courts building. And they're working on RFP stuff now.
Good, thank you, great.
And we're gonna continue to meet with them monthly, so we stay up on
To
top of
stay on top of
the
it,
facility stuff.
great, thank you.
Any more questions for Commissioner Leyland? Commissioner File?
No report.
Okay, Commissioner Marquetti.
Yes, I have a report. Okay, this is just some information about 2 municipalities in the county. First of all, the Village of Cassopolis Imagine Cass project has won the Community Excellent Award from the Michigan Municipal League. Competition was 12 other projects from across the state, and Cassopolis took home the trophy. The second good piece of good news concerns the city of Dowagiac. They have been awarded a $1.1 million CDBG grant for water-related infrastructure to make water-related improvements, which includes the removal and the replacement of the lead pipes, which was a big problem that they've had. So the next thing I have is I attended the NATS meeting, Niles Area Transportation Study, and I need to remind you all that NATS, Niles Area Transportation Study, is Howard Township, it's Milton Township, it's the village of Edwardsburg, it's Mason Township, and Otwa Township. Just those townships are involved with NATS. But there's soon to be an infusion of money for the NATS area, and the exact amount has not been calculated, but it is to be spent in 2023. So projects are being sought, and our Cass County Road Commission was present, so we'll get some, hopefully we'll get some projects there up and running. The next thing is that the roundabout at Gumwood and Redfield is on hold until 2023, while the Road Commission attorney and the reluctant homeowner's attorney work to come to an agreement. We also approved safety targets for 2023, and the bad news is since we're out of COVID, road fatalities and serious injuries are up all across the state and the nation. That's it for me.
Any questions for Commissioner Marquetti?
Who paid for that? The roundabout, that was a collaboration between the county, the township,
Road Commission
and another,
and Milton Township.
Milton Township. Yeah.
And everything is all set to go just as soon as that agreement is worked out. I mean, it's not, they're not getting rid of the project, but they're working on, there was a reluctant homeowner and we needed his property. And so the road commission attorney and his attorney are working it out. So we're fairly confident that it's gonna go.
Because I'd like to try to adopt that in Pokagon and Howard Township, but we'll talk about that another day.
Commissioner Benjamin?
I don't have any committee meetings until the end of next month.
What did you say?
I don't have any meetings until the end of next month.
Oh, you could go to your mind for me.
Commissioner Grice?
No report, sir.
Commissioner Jones?
All right, for our beloved veterans of Cass County, it's business as usual, but I will say since our veteran service officer has been there, we brought in close to $3 million into the county for our veterans. And a person that really doesn't know the system asked me, where is that money coming from? It is not coming from the county budget. it comes from federal dollars, and they go through our county veteran service officer to apply and to get that money from the federal government. So a little bit of miscommunication there. And she's only been here a year, and that's dang near $3 million. Also, if you drive around town, you'll see a bunch of veterans pictures all around on the display. We have a Facebook page that's called Veterans of Cass County. There are people that come on and complain that, well, you didn't put my hero on there. Well, I don't have a picture of every veteran in the county, you know, so that's another point of miscommunication. So if anybody has a veteran that they want to be up there, I think they're only running it till probably Veterans Day, so hurry up and get a picture of your hero and get it to the village of Cass County. You don't want to do it to our veteran service officer, because that's just a middle person. Give it straight to the village, and they'll take care of you from there. And I am the moderator on the Cass County Veterans Facebook page. You don't have to be a veteran to be accepted, but since I'm a moderator, if you get on there talking crazy, I will delete you. Little bit of drama. We had a guy here come here. This is for the ED's Economic Development Board that I'm on. We had a guy that came here and gave us a 3-minute briefing on nuclear waste and things that he wanted to do. So I referred him to the Economic Development because there was money involved. He came and gave us a 15 to 20-minute dissertation on it, and I'm just gonna be upfront and frank with everybody, because if I don't, you all think I'm crazy and lost my mind. As far as I'm concerned, we will not have nuclear waste in our county. You know, it's not my decision, but I think it'd be very hard pressed for anybody to get that to happen in our county, any township, any village, or any city. So that's my 2 cents on that. Also, with the blight elimination program, the grant that Hope is working on, the $200,000, I spoke before that that's only gonna cover maybe 18 houses, just normal 1,000, 2,000 square foot houses. I did a study in Wayne Township, LaGrange, the Village of Cass, Village of Vandalia, Calvin Township, and Newburgh Township, and parts of Marcellus. I drove around for a week and a half, and I have a spreadsheet with almost 175 abandoned buildings. Those are barns, houses, most of them are houses, and Hope is well aware of probably 80 or 90% of them, because if they're abandoned, they're not paying their taxes. So me and her have had a lot of discussions about what we're gonna do in the future about this, and hopefully once this 200,000 is up, we can move to get more money, because to clean up Cass County with all the abandoned buildings, just the houses, I haven't gone around and done the commercial buildings. There's plenty of those also that are abandoned or just sitting there. So it's a mess. And looking at my crazy handwriting, I think that's all I have.
Any questions for Commissioner Jones? Thank you, Commissioner. Appointments Committee report.
Okay, we meet next week, and we have actually 2 openings on Woodlands that we're looking for.
Administrator.
Yes, my report is in the packet. Got a couple things I will add though. Commissioner Leyland touched on a couple of them I was going to touch on, so I'll just give a quick update. We're still working through the USDA grant. I know they had some additional questions that came in today, and we were working with Intersect Studio on that. They got everything submitted back that they needed, so she's reviewing everything now, and we're confident, or hopeful, I guess rather, that everything will go through fairly quick. You know, they said the money was essentially already allocated from congressionally directed spending. We just have to get everything ready to go as far as the application is. And then there was another item that we're going to be hopefully bringing back in 2 weeks on broadband. We've talked about the mapping before. We're working with Market Van Buren on the grant for that, and that would cover essentially 70% of that cost. And so we're actually working now with that vendor to determine, you know, maximizing that grant. Is there a consultation that can occur outside of just the mapping, or helping us kind of determine what the next steps would be, things like that that we can build in. So we're working through that. That should be on the next agenda. The jail showers project, we just heard from Facilities Director Reef that they are working on some fabrication things now and trying to get everything ready to go for that project to commence. We had some concerns about, where are we at in terms of progress and how are we, how is it coming? Is it really gonna be something that's gonna meet the deadline by the end of the year? He actually said he was pretty confident that they were gonna start moving really quickly and that he thought they will actually make that deadline, so that's good news. Holiday luncheon, we are planning to do that on December 9th from 11 to 2. We're still working on some planning now. I know that the committee that normally handles kind of the holiday stuff is still working through to try to figure out everything we're gonna do that day, but that'll be the date and time. The rest, more details will follow. And then I also wanted to mention that we have a new deputy GIS director that we hired. They started yesterday, I believe. I think he goes, is it Alex or James?
He goes by Alex.
Goes by Alex, okay. Alex Biles, I think is the name. We're really excited about it. He brings a lot of knowledge and ability to the role. His main focus is going to be working through the MOU that we have with the WAJAC, gathering new data through GPS field work and assisting our GIS director in converting our existing GIS data to the new state of Michigan 911 repository. And then I guess with respect to the MOU with the WAJAC, that's now commencing as well, so we're excited to see that project underway. Initial focus will be mainly on utility mapping, app development. The primary objective at the start here is to provide, better be able to provide, analyze, and maintain their electric, water, and sewer infrastructure for their residents. And then that data actually will also be beneficial to public safety, emergency operations, and economic development as well. So that'll be where they start, and then projects will kind of broaden from there. And that's all I got. Unless anybody has any questions.
Any questions for the administrator? Okay, public safety.
Good evening. Speaking for the sheriff tonight, he's chosen to give his time to me, and so I thank you for that, Sheriff. What's passing around right now, as many of you know, we're getting close to that time of year again where we usually have our Christmas for the Animals open house. That is returning this year. It'll be Saturday, December 3rd, first Saturday, and that time frame, the shelter will be open to the community will be from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. As we have in years past, we always accept donations, be it supplies or monetary donations. Our largest supply issues or items that we use on a regular basis are, of course, dog food, cat litter, bleach, laundry soap, dish soap. As we're bursting at the seams right now, every little donation counts and helps. So those of you that have been there in the past know what type of food spread to expect. We will not disappoint again this year. And because the last event that we had back in 2019, before COVID came upon us, was attended by over 400 people from the community. This is our largest event to date. We're hoping to exceed that this year. So spread the word and hope to see each and every one of you there. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Any questions for?
Sheriff would also like me to talk to, as far as when I say, speaking about bursting at the seams, we have 35 dog kennels in the facility. We have 41 dogs currently at time. So we're, when I say bursting at the seams, we're not joking. So we've seen a large influx of stray dogs, as well as owner surrenders. So anybody that's looking to bring a new pet into their home, please send them our way.
Thank you, Ron.
Thanks.
Any questions for?
Where are we at with your door project?
Still waiting to hear back. They've done all the final measurements and they're just waiting for the materials to come in. So hoping that comes soon, but I'm going to try to, given the amount of dogs that we have in the building right now and the open house coming up, we're going to try to see if we can get that scheduled after the open house.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. County partners, any county partners here? Okay. Elected officials.
I have two things I'd like to cover with you. First is I'll wear my treasurer's hat. We had our second tax sale, so there were 9 properties that didn't sell in the first tax sale. So the second no minimum bid tax sale happened. We sold 8 out of those 9. All of them sold. be way below minimum bid. So that will require chargebacks to all of the taxing authorities. Again, I remind you of that because this isn't something that we used to have to do. We used to be able to balance, we'd have excess proceeds that we could cover those parcels that didn't sell for the minimum bid. That's not the case anymore, and we will submit bills to all of the taxing authorities for those chargebacks. Now I'll put on my hat for the land bank chairman, and as Jeremiah had mentioned about the blight elimination program. Blight is an issue every one of our townships are challenged with, and these properties destabilize neighborhoods, they create fire and safety hazards, they drive down property values, and they drain local tax dollars. The Cass County Land Bank Authority will be applying through the State Land Bank Authority for this blight elimination grant. We're currently working with all of our local units of government to obtain lists of eligible properties and demonstrated site control for those properties. And their deadline to get that information to me is December 1st. They recognize this, it's good to have a list, but they have to, there's a lot of information they've got to provide me for those lists, including demonstrated site control. Removing this blighted properties is an important step in stabilizing and revitalizing Cass County. This funding allows our land bank to do what the Cass County Board of Commissioners tasked us to do, which is to eliminate blight in the county. The county land bank will apply for grants above this guaranteed minimum of $200,000, and our next board meeting will be Thursday, December 8th at 9 a.m. I also want to mention that this program, does go hand in hand with MSHDA's My Hope program, which I brought flyers for. I'll leave them here. Definitely can get you one. Because this program, the My Hope program, the portal opened last Friday. Homeowners in Cass County can go to the portal and apply for up to $25,000 to cover all of these energy efficient issues. So if they need storm doors, exterior doors, windows, roofs, insulation, heating, cooling systems, water heating, even appliances, they can apply for the funding to up to $25,000 per household. Please share that with families in need. You could also, if you don't want, if anyone has questions, they can call my office. My office is pretty versed on this program and will be happy to direct them on how to apply.
So, Mr. Chairperson,
Go ahead.
Is there income eligibility?
There is, and it's very similar to the My Hope program,
Okay.
My Half program that we
Yeah.
just had. You also had to have a COVID-related hardship for these funds, but it's not hard. That's not hard to prove, because COVID affected pretty much everyone in some way or another. And the income requirements, if I remember, it's roughly for one person household, it's like $75,000, $80,000. So it's a lot of people will be eligible. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
A lot of homeowners will be eligible. And honestly, with the food prices rising as they are, and with gas prices the way they are, if we can provide help with someone to get windows or doors or roofs, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, so, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Okay, so, this grant funding for roof, doors, windows, et cetera, insulation, are there, people lined up who would be able to provide, say it's an elderly person, is there people lined up who would be able to provide, say, they need a replacement of their furnace, or, so, do they just go to anybody, or is?
No, they should go to the portal first and apply.
Okay.
They will get directions from there.
Okay.
Because that application will go from MSHDA to the approved
okay.
yes.
Sure,
Which
I got
and for Cass County is Southwest Michigan Community Action Agency and the Village of Cassopolis. At this time, the Land Bank for Cass County will be applying for the second round.
Okay, and village, okay. Okay, that makes sense, okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Because I know a couple people.
Okay, thank you. You want to elected officials? Yes, go with elected officials, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to touch base real quick, since we have a little election next Tuesday, November 8th. Maybe you've heard about it. If you watch TV, you maybe have heard some advertisements. So our polls will be open here in Michigan from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. So all of our normal polling places will be open. However, if you are a voter in LaGrange Township, your polling place has moved. It will no longer be at the LaGrange Township Hall. It is at the fire department here in LaGrange, which will be a much better location, safer, no more parking along the highway, large parking lot, larger inside location, so we're hoping that's gonna work better. We are hoping for a nice turnout. Our clerks are ready. We have election inspectors trained. I just trained another group of high schoolers, so if you are in the polling place, please be patient and be kind if you see high schoolers. It's always nice to thank them. They are eager and excited to work. They can't vote yet, but they are enthusiastic, and we really like to have them work elections. They do a fabulous job, and they learn a lot. So we hope to have a safe election day. We're grateful for our local sheriff's office and our city of Dowagiac officers. They are working, supplying extra patrols, and they stop by every precinct to make sure that our clerks and election inspectors are comfortable, just to make sure everything is going smooth. So we're hoping, knock on wood, for an earlier finish this time. August was 4 a.m., so we're hoping for not as bad this time around, but results will be posted online is the quickest way to get them, electionreporting.com. So I don't see the numbers, I move files, so if you call my office, I will not know who won, I will have no clue. Any questions?
Any questions for yes, go ahead.
I'm just curious, the youth workers, some of the job, what would they be doing? That sounds exciting to me.
They can do anything, so I train them how to do everything, and actually, the clerks love them, and I actually really enjoy training the high schoolers because they're used to learning. They sit there and they listen and they pay attention. I'll train them any day. And the clerks love them because they're not afraid of technology. So when it comes to the polling place, they love to put them on that computer when you go to vote. And they ask for your driver's license and they swipe it. They love to put them on that laptop computer because they're just a whiz at it.
Yep.
And a lot of election inspectors are intimidated by that. And it's a very long day, and they don't get as tired as those of us that are a little bit older.
Oh, I remember you in high school.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Any other elected officials? That's all for the elected officials. Okay. There's, unfinished business. We have no unfinished business. New business. Commissioner Marquetti.
Yes, R-210-22 is a resolution to authorize the 2022 Emergency Home Repair Loan Program. And Matt has already spoken so eloquently about the CDBG grant situation. So, do you have a question?
Just a second.
Oh, you seconded it. I wasn't even done.
She's gonna get to the motion eventually.
Okay, so, we have a second.
Now can we have discussion? No discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner File,
Yes.
Chair Dice.
Yes.
Commissioner Marquetti.
Yes.
Commissioner Benjamin.
Yes.
Commissioner Grice.
Yes.
Commissioner Jones.
Yep.
And Commissioner Leyland.
Yes.
Resolution passes. We have no closed session. Board member comments and announcements.
I got it.
Yes, go ahead,
I
Commissioner.
don't know if it's a redaction of what the word for it is, but when I said I had almost 175 houses, it's really about 110.
Okay.
But
But that's still a lot.
it's still a lot, and I didn't get Penn, Jefferson, Ontawa, Milton, and there's a few others, so I'm sure it's a higher number anyway.
Oh, I didn't see any, go ahead, Mr. File.
Okay, M212, will that be on the next meeting on the agenda?
We think so.
As long as it comes back in time.
Yeah, but we're gonna work it out, so, no, it will. It should.
I'd like to thank the Vice Chair for covering for me for last meeting when I was gone. Thanks a bunch. I am at the Michigan School Board Association Convention and working on some things for Cass County.
Good.
Also, I lost a mother-in-law, so
That's right.
we ended up
Sympathy.
doing a lot of things at one time, so thanks to the board. Anything else? Oh, I didn't see it. It's Commissioner File again.
The Harvest Fest, the trunk or treat was a complete success. They had cars stuffed everywhere you could stuff a car. I've never seen so many cars. Well, I think the sheriff's department, when they had the adult trunk or Halloween thing, they had that many people, but
Wow.
this is the first time I've ever seen that many cars. It was awesome.
Our finance director was there with Bella.
Thank you.
Yes,
Problem
Commissioner.
boys too.
Commissioner.
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
And properly moved, supported, meeting adjourned, all in favor, say aye. Carried.